ladies and gentlemen, this video has been on my to watch list for since the day it came out 4 months ago. But this is how to become the Pirate King. I thought the theme of the video sounded really interesting, so I put it on my watch later when it came out. Even though I'm not even subscribed to this channel, BlueJay, which will most certainly I hope change after this video. As you know, I'll subscribe if I do enjoy this video. Which just based on the premise, I sort of already know that I will. But yeah, I thought the title of it sounded very interesting. Of course, when you think of Pirate King, you naturally think of One Piece, I guess. But also of the real life Pirate King, real life Pirate Island as well. And there's a lot of pirating lore that I'm intrigued by, although not fascinated to the point where I'm actually going through it in detail. But there is a lot that I genuinely am intrigued by. So this video will be very, very interesting. How to become the Pirate King. My eye, you can't tell right now. It's actually so much better. I just have a spot here. That's why that's why it looks like I've got a scar here. But my left eye yesterday was blood red. I woke up, I don't know, scratched my eye, to get the dust out of my eye, and when I woke up, and then I don't know, maybe I've just poked the eye or something. But I just irritated really bad to the point where I barely couldn't see out of my left eye. But now it's completely fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, sleep heals all wounds. With that said, how to become the Pirate King. Let's hop right in.
This video is sponsored by War Thunder. Meet Benjamin Hornigold, a man who I can only assume really enjoyed his gold. Writing the final wave of the golden age of piracy, Hornigold's brief career left a dazzling legacy filled with everything from merchant jumping to pirate hunting. But as every college grad knows, it's not our good grades or accolades that leave an impact, but rather the stupid things we do while drunk on Thursday.
I'm afraid that mouse has you beat. I can't even see what you haven't even played any cards, but I can see that mouse has you beat. Trust me, mate.
Thursday behind a Taco Bell that people remember us for. And while Hornigold may not have lived long enough to enjoy the dreamlike enlightenment achieved from the bite of a beef quesarito, even still would he be remembered for a tale of drunken shenanigans. One night in 1717, Hornigold and his crew were partaking in a wee bit of rum guzzling, sword fumbling, plank stumbling buffoonery when they drunkenly threw their hats into the sea. But parting with the core piece of their identity for a quick laugh was a decision they'd quickly regret. This was a disaster, a tragedy. Pirate promised in only 2 days, so all the other crews. But luckily, as the sun came up the following morning, they spotted a merchant ship off the coast of Honduras and brewed up a plan. Yar! Turn off the light, would you? the sun. Whatever, just hand over your hats or plank the...
So, again, I don't know who BlueJay is. This popped up in my recommended, but based on the title, the thumbnail and everything, the first thing I thought was what's that channel called? That also does animation like this, and that we've reacted to. Alternate History Hub, sure. Who actually makes the same style or similar style of videos. It might be the same person, maybe just an alternate channel. But there's another channel that does very similar history videos as well. I've sort of not been watching so many history knowledge checkers recently, just cause. Not in the mood. That's all it really is. Just not been in the mood. But yeah, could be the same channel. Like I said, BlueJay and that Alternate History Hub could be the same channel, just different. What do you call it? Different channels for different purposes.
Walk. Did you say hats? Can a beaver hold its breath for 15 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
The answer is yes. I just don't know that much about beavers. Forget it. It doesn't matter. Just cuff up the hats, sailor boy. And that's it? Yeah, yeah. Unless you got White Castle or something? I don't know what that is. Me neither, it just sounds really good. As the terrified merchants prepared for the worst, Hornigold explained that they were quite literally only there for their hats after their drunken tobacco the night prior. After sticking to his word, the pirates sailed off, leaving the merchants without injury beyond the
Sounds simple enough.
Lost their drip. Sensational tales like Hornigold's have spun him a legacy that survived to this day, but even still, he isn't remembered for being the greatest pirate of all time. After all, building a legacy through alcohol poisoning is only one step towards becoming a legend, Steve. And there are many ingredients needed to bake the Pirate King pie. So, without further ado, on today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to become the King of the Pirates.
Ooh. Oh. Hey. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Alright, Steve.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The wind's blowing by, so let's make you do a proper
What was the Pirate King called? It's not Edward Teach, no. That's Blackbeard. But like, what was the actual like pirate king called? Forgot his name. The one that was like, labeled as the king. I forgot what the pirate island was called as well. I want to say Tortuga, but I don't think it's Tortuga. Um, but yeah, I forgot what the actual like pirate king in real life was called.
Oh, but first, make sure to suck on a few limes before we go. As my grandmother always said, "Oh my God, dear Lord, everything is pain. I can't stop bleeding." She had scurvy. Putting a pin in that, but first, who are you and
Oranges.
why are you talking? Well, normally I'd be talking to my other victim, Alex, but apparently he's in a psych ward due to acute psychological trauma or
Hey
whatever.
yo!
Did you say victim? Step 1 to becoming a pirate is the same as any other career. Motivation.
I was
Whether
thinking
it's
of Captain
engineers and high
Jack.
salaries or Minecraft YouTubers and access to miners, every job needs a proper incentive. And while there were many reasons, various scoundrels decided to fly the Jolly Roger, for the maritime pirates of the late 17th, early 18th centuries, they can be narrowed down to primarily 3 motivations.
Forgot her name. Is it Anne Bonny? I think it's Anne Bonny. Obviously, that's Blackbeard, Edward Teach. Edward Teach. Yeah, Edward Newgate, Marshall D. Teach, Edward Teach, yeah. And I think that's Sir Drake, I think.
Let's say you get kidnapped. The sea is very big. It can fit a lot of ships, you see.
Yes.
These ships need hands to do the things on the ship to keep the ship being a ship on the sea, for all to see. But sometimes these hands don't want to be on the ship on the sea, for they see the degree to which they won't be free. Therefore, with glee, both pirates and navies agree, the key, regardless of plea, is a kidnapping spree. Pirates
Hey,
are
my.
good for many things. Loading cannon holes, digging
Look at
treasure
you
holes,
rhyming
making
away.
new holes, you name it. But what if they receive holes themselves? They can't fix it with yet another hole. They tried. So pirates would often find themselves in need of specialists like doctors and carpenters to perform the more expert work aboard a ship. However, specialists weren't typically the type to turn to piracy.
Yep.
You know, poor. Meaning pirates would have a difficult time recruiting someone like a doctor into their crew. Hey, Billy, were you able to recruit that doctor fella? Nah, he's still thinking about it, but don't worry. I planted the seed in his mind. Did you now? Aw. Well, if he was a good doctor, he could have just taken it out. While recruiting skilled labor was difficult,
He's not wrong.
there was a plethora of capable seamen out there on merchant ships, just begging to be
Hey,
kidnapped.
for what now?
And as it turns out, recruiting new crewmen was much easier once you limited their options to either practice medicine as a pirate or practice medicine without thumbs. Okay, so yeah, of course the criminals do the crime things, but surely the Navy doesn't go around kidnapping people. Oh yes, Steve. Your government loves you so very much. Especially when you listen. Impressment was the practice of forcing men via coercion, extortion, or various tortions into primarily the service of a navy. Carrying out this practice were the dreaded press gangs, groups of men.
See, you learn something new every day. I did not know any of that at all. At all.
Who often frolicked about the docks of Britain,
Didn't shock me,
looking for the
but
next unlucky bugger to beat and kidnap in the name of the king. While targets of this forced servitude were supposed to be seafaring men between 18 and 55 years old, those rules only applied to people, not the pores. So there were occasions where press gangs would just snag the random Tiny Tim from the middle of the street. What were they gonna do?
Not Tiny
Letter
Tim!
of complaint? They can't read. But with drastic tactics come drastic results.
Hey yo, my
These
man's
press
playing
sailors
JoJo.
ended up mutinying or deserting their posts, thus turning to a life of piracy. But for you, we can rule out kidnapping, seeing as you live far from the ocean in this disgusting place I can't even pronounce. Kentucky? Bless you. Moving on to option 2, we have state-sponsored theft. Ah, I know this one. The IRS. No, Steve. We don't dare make fun of the IRS. I'm talking about privateering. Put simply, a privateer was essentially a pirate who was given the green light by a government to have a grand old time nabbing and stabbing foreign merchants. Any private citizen itching for the pirate life but without the balls to fully give the government the finger could acquire this permission via a letter of marque, a piece of paper that stated the little...
Did he say mark? Is it not a marquee? Or have I like pronounced it wrong my whole life? I always thought it was a marquee. Anyway,
is currently assaulting and robbing.
What do I know?
Doing so with the blessing of the king. Permission from the king, huh? Well, that's a relief. Since privateers had a knack for damaging foreign economies, letters of marque were at their most popular during times of war. But once warring nations made peace and the letters were revoked, many former privateers were reluctant to throw away such a lucrative line of work. So ironically, the same nations who struggled combating piracy also fueled said piracy, as the former privateers would continue raiding ships, including those of their former state sponsors. These waves of piracy could be be so dramatic, in fact, that once the War of Spanish Succession ended in 1714, it single-handedly brought about the third era of the golden age of piracy. Wave of piracy, ocean waves. That's kind of funny. Wow, Steve, when's the Netflix special? Anyway, as we already know,
Why so
no
rude?
privateer. So with the first two ruled out, it looks like we'll have to go with option 3 for you, which is...
Oh, well. Oh, that is shirt off his back.
For the world's poor and disadvantaged, the pirate lifestyle served as a powerful motivator. They took my mom's ashes. You went from isolation to open freedom, from stick beating to stick wearing, from sleeping in shit to sleeping in shit, but with hook hands.
Woo.
Meanwhile, a merchant or military vessel subjected you to low pay, terrible rations, and frequent physical punishment, and not the fun kind.
Hey, yo. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Ape Club. Rest in peace. Crypto might be soaring recently, but rest in peace.
Either. Compare that to the equality and freedom enjoyed by pirates in the pursuit of untold
played Assassin's
riches,
Creed since like
it's
3.
some could find the swashbuckling
Or Revelation,
path
whichever one.
preferable. Welcome aboard, matey. You made the right choice joining this crew. In no time at all, you'll be swimming in all the golden women your little heart desire. Shiver me blunderbuss. It's be a treasure guardian of the Spanish Main. Oh my god. Man, what the fuck did you just say? What? I'm just surprised. No. Did I actually just hear what you said just now?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be a little funny. Funny? Explain to me what part of spewing TikTok brain rot in the middle of a conversation is funny. I think this skit is supposed to be about finding riches. No, fuck the script. You really expect me to sit here while your Zoomer brain parasite vomits nonsense all over a social setting like a Kanye West interview? Charles, we're really trying to break into the younger demographic.
Yeah, what's going on?
Blake here to improvise, so if you could just read your lines, that'd be great. I did not graduate from Juilliard to taint my reputation with such a sacrilegious performance, so you can find another headliner for your stupid skit.
Okay.
So are we just, done for the day? No, just give me 5. Checking off motivation,
okay.
Your next step on your Pirate King journey is joining a crew. Just like with motivation, there are a lot of ways this could be done, but for the sake of time and to put you on the fast track to the top, we're gonna take you down the fun route. I don't know if I like your tone. Oh, don't you worry, Steve.
Attacked.
This way, not only will you join a crew, but you also get a taste of the sweet ecstasy that comes from watching a man's soul leave his eyes as fresh blood paints your hands in sin. So let's go start a mutiny. Mutinies were a rather classic way to kick off a pirate career. In fact, the very man who earned the King of the Pirates title you're shooting for, Henry Every, was
That's the name.
his career this way.
Henry Every. Of course. I knew the second I'd see his name, I'd be like, oh, of course it was X, Y, and Z, but I just could not remember his name.
With the aforementioned terrible conditions aboard law-abiding ships, wrangling up rapscallions for some captain stabbing tomfoolery was a relatively easy task. But, just like a book club for amputees, you're never able to get everyone on the same page. It's high time you learn your lesson, boy. That's enough. Come on, Peter, it's time for a mutiny. No, it's okay. You guys can go on without me. So, 10 lashes, was it? Not all mutinies involve violence, however. For the bloodless ones, historians prefer to use the term lame. But regardless of style, what's really important here, Steve, is to make sure you're the one organizing the mutiny. Sure, it's a high-risk, high-reward tactic, but by leading a successful mutiny, you stand a pretty good chance of landing the role of pirate captain when all is said and done.
I have seen the first episodes of Black Sails.
Details, Steve. Just keep your chin up. Because if you fail, a rope will do it for you. Now, how you carry out the mutiny will depend on the situation, but so long as you balance the equation of more men willing to stab the captain than defend them, odds are you'll end up successful and can focus on that pirate captain role. Okay, so maybe if I kill the most people and mutilate their bodies, the other pirates will see that and decide to follow me as captain. Damn, Steve, I didn't know you're a little freak like that. I mean, that's not my advice, but hey, if you got a little itch that needs scratching, have at it, King. No, okay, well, how do I be a pirate
This is a very fun video, I must say.
Close to CGP grade there, bud. While fear can be a powerful motivator,
My only
captains could be voted into and also out of the.
My only thing with this video is, while it's a very fun video, it's sort of is all over the place as well, in a good and a bad way. It makes it very entertaining, but it also means that like sometimes you're just like, okay, I want you to elaborate on that, but he's already moved on to like the next thing. It's a 23-minute video. What am I expecting?
Making the use of it a losing strategy for them. So ironically, the gangs of violent criminals elected their leaders based more off respect
Not Red Jay.
So don't do crazy murder stuff.
King BlueJay.
You can desecrate as many corpses as your little heart desires, Steve. All I'm saying is to make sure that when you're serving up severed toes to your victims like pigs in a blanket, make sure your fellow men know that they're in a safe space. for them.
It's
Now,
like
if you
pigs in a
follow this
blanket.
advice, Steve, the mutiny and subsequent captainship should come to you quite smoothly, barring some rare hiccups, of course. Rare hiccups? Oh, it's nothing. It's just, being on a wooden sailboat and all, a mutiny can get rather messy if someone drops a torch, lights a fuse, or if there's a British Spitfire Mark 9 in the area. Oh, that's not good. What? There weren't fighter planes
Exactly,
in
in
the
this
1700s.
era.
There are when I need a sponsor segue. War Thunder is not only the most comprehensive vehicle
Respect.
combat game ever made,
War
it also
Thunder?
comes with S'more Gunner, which I thought was
Huh. It's been a while since I've heard of War Thunder. I used to watch this, what is the Russian channel called? I don't think he's Russian, actually, but he does sound Russian. The guy that makes, like, war videos of, like, what would happen if North Korea launched an ICBM missile, at the United States, and then he actually goes through it. I think he's Russian, or just based on the accent. I'm obviously stereotyping here very much, and I know I'm aware of that. But like, I used to watch his videos like all the time. Again, I go through my phases where like I watch one channel or one aspect of like videos for like months, and then I just won't watch them for like years, and it's been like a long time since I watched his videos. But he always promoted War Thunder.
would look funny. With over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, you'll have a grand old time unleashing your pent-up emotions with some of the most powerful war machines in history. Ranging from biplanes to fighter jets, War Thunder is packed
Let the
graphics
sponsorship
and sound
obviously
effects,
like
so
play
you'll
out.
wanna camp out by your mailbox,
Obviously.
praying for the next draft. I personally rather fancy the damage X-ray view.
How all are
The
you
only
doing
thing
though,
that
by the
feels
way? I hope you're all
more
good.
joy than pumping objects full of lead is knowing exactly how that lead breaks things.
I'm absolutely
Join over
freezing at the
70
moment, which is why I'm
million players today
wearing
for free on PC
this
and
jacket.
console by using my link in the pinned comment or
Usually I have like my
description.
little
New and returning players who haven't
heater
played in the
on,
last 6
but
months will
I've
also
come to
receive
realize that
a
actually like
across all
ruins the
platforms,
audio
multiple
quality of the
premium
videos.
vehicles, an exclusive
You've
vehicle
seen some of my
decorator,
videos recently, the
100,000
audio has been
summer
like quite
alliance, and
poor.
7 days of
That's
premium
why I've
account
not
time.
got that on
Alright,
and I'm
now
wearing
that
this
you've led a
instead.
successful mutiny, gained your men's respect, and been voted in as captain, you can get to work on building your reputation. These days, something like that's pretty easy. All you have to do is throw a few flags in your bio and make fun of Drake. Back in the day, you really
Hey,
had to
yo.
work hard to build your rep. I see. So how do I build a reputation? Well, a little degenerate like you could always go the Lolane route. You know, hacking limbs,
Lolanos.
popping eyeballs, the works. I'm sorry?
Who's
Yeah.
obviously geboren mit Olone, okay, General van de Front Rovers in Tortuga. Yeah. Well, if you know One Piece, obviously, that's who like Roronoa Zoro is based on, Francois Lolones.
Yeah, it's even said he cut out some dude's heart and took a bite of it once.
Yeah,
How would that
that's-
even work? Well, a lot easier than you'd think, really. Once you shatter the sternum, you're really just a few snips away from a heart buffet. Not eating the heart. How would this work for helping me become a pirate king?
Yeah.
And for notoriety, of course. Aside from being my preferred source of protein, eating a man's heart does wonders for building infamy, which is perhaps the most important step towards your pirate king journey.
Okay.
After all, the bigger the notoriety, the bigger the ships that surrender without a fight. Of course, there are ways to do this that didn't involve chowing down on a left ventricle. Blackbeard would stoke fear with wild hair full of lit fuses. Bartholomew Roberts exuded gallantry with vibrant clothes and a theatrical flair. And Dan Schneider built a false sense of safety.
Okay, we're dissing Dan Schneider. Sorry, I just like go through it a little bit. Blackbeard. I mean, he's probably the most infamous pirate, even though he wasn't necessarily like the biggest one. Bartholomew Roberts. The thing that I found interesting about him, from what I remember correctly, is that he didn't even care, or he didn't even want to become a pirate. He just sort of like stumbled on it, and I think like he was one of the pirates that like showed the most mercy, from what I remember reading, in a sense that like he was. I might be getting him confused with someone else, but from what I remember reading, he was someone that would like he would still pillage people, obviously, and still attack people, but like he would show them mercy as well, which was very uncommon for pirates. And it's because he didn't want to become a pirate. He sort of just not stumbled into it, but I guess you could say, compared to other people who chose that life willingly, his duty wasn't necessarily that. He was just the strongest, and like his whole thing was about protecting people. And then like he sort of became the captain through that. From what I remember now, stories travel and so on and so forth. So what I might have heard might not have been the accurate representation, so on and so forth. But hey, then we get to the most infamous pirate, Dan Schneider.
Exuded gallantry with vibrant clothes and a theatrical flair, and Dan Schneider built a false sense of safety by doing his best to look like John Candy. As you can see, Steve, each and every criminal worked hard to build their own unique brand that sent a strong message to their prey. Just an update on the branding progress, sir. Okay. Edward finished our new Jolly Roger. Kyle's made us necklaces of severed ears. Sure. We've hit our quota of 25 burnt down ships this month. Okay, and where are we on the goose sculpture? The goose sculpture, sir?
Goose.
Correct, for the tippy top of the mast. I wasn't aware we needed a goose sculpture. Okay. First day as an outlaw, then. I've killed 11 people. You see, Scott, when merchants see a ship with a skull and crossbones, well, that's just your run-of-the-mill pirates. They see a bunch of swords and cannons, again, just pirates, no big deal. But when they see a giant goose sculpture, well, now they're not thinking just your average
Let's get a
pirates.
straw.
They're thinking these pirates are a bunch of silly geese. Holy shit.
That,
How does this help
no,
us? A regular
yeah.
pirate, you expect to torture you for not surrendering. That's boring, predictable, no big deal.
But
But a
goose?
silly goose pirate, well, who fucking knows what they'll do? They might bite your elbow, track mud all over your clothes, just fucking shit on your wall. We shit on their walls. I wouldn't know, Scott, we're silly geese. Point is, they don't know either. And when they see that goose coming, they'll cough up every last doubloon they have to not find out.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, sure.
One goose sculpture
Yeah,
coming
sure.
up then. Excellent, Scott. I'll go make our beak masks. Did you just hear our captain's stupid
Yeah,
shit? This was
mutiny.
his Make-A-Wish. The leukemia will take him in a week. Oh my god, I had no idea. Don't worry about it. Once he's gone, we can make a raccoon sculpture. What? Okay.
Okay.
First day as an outlaw, then. Pirate means being a brand, one of terror, pain, and misery. It demands compliance and the promise of violence, save for those who avoid defiance. To build
Okay,
your
now he's
efforts
rhyming
to build
again.
this brand, daily PR that must be carefully planned. So with all this in mind and everything at hand, let's quiz you on scenarios to see where you land.
Okay.
You chased down a Spanish galleon that refused to surrender. After some back and forth cannon volleys, you boarded their ship and fought them into submission. Both sides have lost some good men, but you came out on top with a huge haul of barrels of wine and brandy. What do you do? Torture them for fighting back to send a message. Good, but far too lenient. I mean, wine and brandy? What kind of party is this without tequila? Better cut off their hands so they don't ruin the next function. You approach a British frigate that attempted to run to no avail. You board them without a fight and are now face to face with a cowering crew, surrendered and horrified. What do? Are they crying?
Take the loot,
Some of them are,
leave him
sure.
alive.
I take the most composed man and slowly sever the tendons in his arms until the entire crew is crying. Jesus Christ, Steve! I'm supposed to be the fucked up one.
They
Did I get it right?
surrendered!
No. Not at all. We want to encourage a surrender without a fight. You
Yeah.
don't torture these poor sailors. Oh, my bad. Yeah, tell that to Mike's 8-year-old daughter. Anyway, third time's the charm. You sneak up on a French ship and raise your Jolly Roger. The terrified merchants quickly surrender without even the slightest fight or chase.
Okay.
You board their ship and they have all their cargo neatly lined up and cataloged for you. What do, Steve? I thank them
No,
and
don't.
let them go? Oh, sorry, we were looking for torch the ship. But you just said to encourage surrender.
What?
Normally, yes, but these aren't your average sailors, Steve.
Merchants.
Why don't you try again? Do we torch them because they're French?
No, take them in.
That's correct. While building your reputation will be hard work, the more effort you put in, the bigger the gains you'll realize. Kind of like training your muscles to failure. Oh boy, I bet I could do one more. Now that your brand is plaguing the world like Supreme in 2016, you can continue following the footsteps of modern-day corporations and shift your focus to what's really important. Charity? That's right, Steve. And what better foundation to fund than our own pockets? So let's get to work on expansion. What truly made a pirate the stuff of legends was commanding not one, but
The
multiple
geese.
ships. When Henry Every made off with the richest prize in pirate history, he flexed to command over 6 ships and 440 men. Expanding a pirate fleet might seem pretty straightforward. All you have to do is
440
keep
men.
taking and taking until you got everything you want. While that might be easy for my ex-wife, stealing a bunch of ships is quite the risky feat and takes a lot more elbow grease than just hiring the best divorce lawyer on the eastern seaboard.
Look,
Do you
ladies
know
and
Tom?
gentlemen, how many people have we got in this community? Like 2,000 people? Look, let's start our own pirate crew. Let's start our own pirate crew. Look, we'll have more than Henry Avery. We'll take over. We will take over, okay? We will take over. We will take over. We shall become the king of these seas. Who's with me, ladies and gentlemen? Who is with me? Rise up.
Nevertheless, this was the strategy pirates like Blackbeard would end up pursuing, while others, like Henry Every, put together their fleet more politically through mutual agreements with other pirate captains. But regardless of the growth strategy, what's really important is to make sure you whip up a pirate code. A pirate code was essentially a code of conduct with a sexier name. They detailed things like various rules, divisions of loot, and even injury compensation, all of which helped keep the savage sailors docile, like giving a preteen a prime. Alright gentlemen, our new pirate code is finished, so I need you all to listen up to the following articles. Number 1. No man shall settle their quarrel with their fellow man via shooting or fisting of any kind.
Okay.
Number 2.
I was gonna say.
No man shall partake in gooning or munting. I'm not quite sure what this is. It's important. Keep it in. Right. Number 3. All dining utensils shall be cleaned after use, and the big purple bendy straw shall be reserved for Captain Rogers only. Oh. Hey, that's the rule. That's the rule.
Mutiny.
Sure, you're able to wing it when you're just the pirate dirty dozen, but once you get more and more sailors under your command, you'll need a bit more structure to keep it all together. After all, it's practically expected that the group of malicious outlaws will eventually get out of line. So, just like with old game cartridges, you may need to blow on them every once in a while to keep things running smoothly.
Fair enough.
Not again. You know what you have to do, William.
Oh no.
Despite their depraved image, some captains go as far as banning certain vices in their pirate codes to try to maintain a sense of order and composure amongst the—
what? No blood magic over 10 deciliters. No more than 30 minutes in the bounty castle? Oh, you must be smoking. Wait, no smoking? You must be gambling. Wait, nope. No, I'm joking.
The crew. Bartholomew Roberts, for example, restricted his crew's gambling, drinking, and womanizing to make sure they stayed on top of their game. A set of morals that surely filled the pompous pirate with pride for living such a noble life.
Yeah, such a noble
battle surrounded by his drunk crew. And now, Steve, we find ourselves at the final stop of your Pirate King
Okay,
Odyssey.
go on.
Legacy.
Legacy.
For legendary figures, the only thing more valuable than being successful is being remembered.
Let's see. I don't know who that is. Clearly an Adult Swim character. I don't know who though. Marilyn Monroe. It is the Genghis of Ghana. Mansa Musa.
Who is Tom Brady without Super Bowls? Adolf Hitler without invading polls?
Hey, yo.
Rick Astley without Rick rolls?
Hey,
All
yo.
these men, for better or for worse, will be remembered.
I'm not gonna make any jokes here. So I was thinking of one, but I'm not gonna make it. Look,
things like their massive impact
I'm
on
above
internet
it.
culture or mouth kissing their sons. As such, every king throughout their reign works hard to realize the multi-generational
Alexander the Great. Aragon. What's his lineage? Aragon, son of Aragon. I think. I've not watched Lord of the Rings. I've not read the books in a while. Okay, forgive me. I don't know who that is. But clearly, is this Sir Douglas? I don't know. No. Who's the guy that fought the Austrian 7-Year War? It might be him, but I'm not sure.
impact that'll bolden their name in the pages of history. And so too shall you work, Steve. But luckily not in the Tom Brady boy-kissing way. We aren't trying to be the king of pop after all.
Hey,
Luckily for you,
no.
much of what you've already accomplished has laid the foundation for your future legacy. All you need now is one crowning achievement to really get them historians foaming at the mouth.
Aye.
Take William Dampier, an English pirate, explorer, and naturalist whose expeditions led to many first discoveries for Europeans,
Okay.
including being the first person to pen the English words for avocado, chopsticks, barbecue, and subspecies, the last of which proved quite useful for scientists and scholars when defining the book talk community. While sporting impressive
I don't quite
feats
believe
like
that,
first person
but
to circumnavigate the world 3 times and first Englishman to explore Australia, he
Okay.
is perhaps most notable for being quite the foodie. Our little William loved to eat, so much so that over 100 food-related words are credited to him in the Oxford English Dictionary, many of which are rather whimsical combinations of adjectives and nouns.
Oh, that's
like
really
whistling
cool.
duck or sucking fish. Being a naturalist, Dampier was captivated by wildlife and would write
Really
their descriptions
cool.
with such exquisite and colorful
Oh, no,
detail
not the
that
New
they
York
inspired
rats.
future generations of scientists and explorers. And then he'd eat them. Wow, what a vivid shade of red you have, Mr. Birdie. Must be some kind of heron-like waterfowl. Such beauty.
chomp, 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 chomp.
What a plump little lad you are. I'd say you're no bigger than a duck, huh? Well, what do we have here? Throughout Dampier's expeditions, he would partake in the flesh of basically any animal he came across, and the cuter they were, the more eager he was. He ate manatees, Galapagos penguins, flamingo tongues, spin a wheel of Disney characters, and he's thrown that critter on the Barbie. After finishing a 3-course meal of sin, he'd review his experience in a journal one could mistake for a kitchen nightmare script.
You know what?
Hey,
I'm not against it.
I'd just be skimming your little journal.
I'm not against
That's
it.
private.
Someone had to try it.
They be your food reviews,
As long as it's not
I'd
me.
be only curious. Let's see, we got wallaby, shark, sea turtle. Say what?
I know you guys couldn't hear that. That just like, you guys couldn't hear it, but like, I don't know what just went out, what just happened outside. I think it might have been a lightning storm. But like, it was so loud, I could even hear it through like, you know, the headphones. The loud like. I'm almost like surprised by how loud it is, because it felt like it was literally just right outside. But I don't think it's snowing. I don't think it's raining. It just sounded like a loud thump. Maybe, what time is it? 3 a.m. in the morning. Maybe my neighbor's actually woken up to go to work because he works in the morning. Yeah, that noise just like, I don't know if the microphone picked it up, but that noise just like.
Would be this section on eating ass. You wrote about that?
Hey, yo.
Scientist, Jeremy. Dampier was such an iconic explorer that his seminal observations in the fields of zoology, navigation, and meteorology
That's really
would go
cool,
on to
though.
influence the likes of James Cook and Charles Darwin.
Okay,
Proving,
fair
along
enough.
with Mia Khalifa, that all it takes to go down in history is putting enough weird things in your mouth.
Who?
Other
I don't know
pirates
who
weren't
that person right is.
however, and they had to make their name through other top achievements. Henry Every captured the Grand Mughal fleet in the most profitable act in pirate history until Johnny Depp stole the world's libido in 2003. Zheng Yatso amassed the world's largest pirate fleet of 60,000 men, which is still less than half as many diabolical fiends in one place as a BTS concert. Blackbeard blockaded Charlestown and looted all traffic into and out of the city, a strategy that would later be adopted by Apple's App Store. Bartholomew Roberts captured the most ships during the Golden Age with over 400 prizes, a feat so large no one would score more booty on the high seas until Epstein's Island. And Monkey D. Luffy has stretchy arms and punched a clown, I guess. I know a lot of you have been waiting for One Piece jokes, but I've only seen the live action. All of these grandiose acts were just the right flavor of
This was your time to shine.
Stencil their names into the books of history. Or manga. But if that's the case, why aren't they all known as pirate kings? That, my good little Steve, is because not all of them accomplished the most important act of a pirate career. Staying alive. Most pirates could find action, many could find riches, but what really made someone like Henry Every the king of the pirates was fighting a way out of it all, loaded and unscathed. With the vast majority of notable pirates up in either Davy Jones' locker or swinging like a knocker, this was a monumental feat only a few could boast to have achieved. The pirate life was a risky one after all, and
I kind of want to.
This was a monumental.
Oh, Blackbeard. Okay, he got simply killed. Thomas Tew killed. Calico Jack Rackman, who I've never heard of, hung. Charles Vane, who I believe is in, what do you call it? Black Sails. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but I think he's in Black Sails. You know, he was also hung. William Kidd hung. Okay. So Henry Avery is the only one that survived, it seems. Or the only notable one that survived. I didn't know how Blackbeard died, in all fairness.
Feat only a few could boast to have achieved. The pirate life was a risky one after all, and the longer you stayed in it, the greater your odds of suffering a horrible fate. For comparison, today we refer to this kind of risk as living in Florida. So sure, you could keep a low profile, stab a couple Spaniards, and leave slightly richer, but mama didn't raise no bitch, Steve, and the only way to earn that king title is to make it big and make it out quick. So, how about it, Steve? Feel ready to chase that
Me own Pirate Island.
I think so. So do I just head on over to the Bahamas then? Oh, no. That's the haven for Instagram influencers now. These days you go to Somalia. The golden age of piracy. 10 out of 10 stars.
Look at me.
You smell the treat?
I am the captain now.
Okay.
Rest in peace to the doggo.
I'm excited. Smell that? What's that?
Legacy. I like that part being included in the legacy aspect.
Can you sit?
Again, big thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check it out for free on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation using my link in the description. New and returning players who haven't played in 6 months will receive a big old bonus pack of fun new toys across all
Okay, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I thought this was a very interesting video. Granted, I'm not necessarily planning of becoming a pirate, but you know what? Hey, if we've got a fleet of 2,000, that's 2,000 men strong, let's do it. Let's sail the seas. Let's sail the seas. But though, ladies and gentlemen, I thought this video was very interesting. I thought this video was very good. I learned a lot that I didn't know, which I'm always glad for. That's the reason why I watch YouTube videos, to learn or to hear something new that I'm not familiar with. And this video perfectly encapsulates the kind of videos that I enjoy, because it was very interesting. Simple as that. But let me know what you all thought about the video. Also, let me know if there's any other videos I should look at. And let me know whether you'd be interested in joining a pirate crew. I'll get the ship. You guys get the swords, the weapons, and also make sure that you forego your previous life, and we all join together to sail the seas, as one might call it. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, look, peace out, everyone. Have a good one. See you all next time, and as always, bye.